Hey, I'm Butterfly.
Hey, I'm Firefly.
Have you ever wondered if we aren't being told the truth about everything?
What have we been lied to about? Join us as we have conversations and ask questions about everything. We invite you to keep an open mind and consider the unfathomable.
Let's break the chains that enslave our minds. Come on, let's go down the rabbit hole.
What's up, Butterfly?
Hey, Firefly, what's going on?
Let's go down a rabbit hole.
Oh my gosh. So,
You kind of have this one.
oh my gosh, I'm like kind of excited because I woke up like really early this morning and I had like an epiphany.
Epiphany,
Yeah,
epiphany, epiphany.
like in my sleep, or maybe I had just woken up and it was
That's right.
still dark out, and I had this epiphany. I was thinking, you know how we talk about CO, which is controlled opposition?
Controlled opposition.
Yeah,
It's also Captain Obvious and Candace Owens.
I know, ironically. And okay, let me backtrack a little bit because this we have to reference our other little thing that we like to talk about a lot, which is the triple M to the P's.
Triple M to the P.
Yes, and shall we remind our listeners what a triple M to the P is?
Yes, yes.
You say it better than I do. I get a little tongue twisted.
Well, it is. It's a mouthful, but it's a very specific behavior. And you know what? It kind of pertains to this episode because what? Go.
Well. So the triple M to the P was one of my epiphanies. Also,
Well, yeah,
it came from one of my epiphanies.
And this revelation pertains because what you're talking about is how the micromanagement works from the top down.
Yeah.
And the CO is basically managed by the megalomaniac psychopaths as well.
Yeah, so the megalomaniacs are at the top.
That's them.
But what
They're psychopaths too. Don't forget the psychopaths.
Megalomaniac psychopaths are at the top, and they're like creating all these horrible things and making people do stuff by training their underlings, which we like to call mini megalomaniac psychopaths. Micromanagers.
That's it. It's a mini megalomaniac psychopath micromanager. But that's what they are.
That's what they do. They go all the way down to the sales girl at Sephora.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
It tells you could only have 3 samples.
And what does her badge turn into?
She was Stephanie, but when I looked again, it looked like Satan.
It turns into Satan. She goes, "Can I help you?" And then she goes, "I want to hurt you now." So that's okay. So that pertains to this episode because that was early in our podcast. That was like one of our early episodes.
That was one of my early revelations. I was like, this is how it's happening because the little micromanagers are actually little mini megalomaniac psychopaths.
Yep.
Because they're doing what the psychopaths want them to do.
So why don't we unpack the specifics of that? Because that is basically the model for what we're talking about today.
Yeah, my latest epiphany.
So the way that it works is you have, let's just take Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock.
Yeah.
So
Larry he's like Fink, the CEO of the world.
He's CEO of Earth, whether it's round or flat. He drove around and found out. Yeah. So Larry Fink, he says, we're going to drive behavior with financial instruments. Mm-hmm. What he means by that is I'm a megalomaniac psychopath, and I'm going to turn everybody into megalomaniac psychopaths, mini-me's, because
Little finklets.
Little finklets. It's a little mini finklet. And that's what they are. And that sucks.
I don't want to be one of those.
I don't even want to resemble that dude in any way, shape, or form, let alone be a mini version. So anyways, what they do is they turn people into themselves through acquiescence and micromanagement.
Right.
So what happens is these people go work for Satan.
Yeah.
So whether you work for Sephora or like some hospital, you work for Satan.
Yeah.
And so like in the hospital is a good example of how the triple M's to the P behave during cooties.
Right.
Remember they were like making 4-hour-long TikTok videos of them dancing in their scrubs?
Yeah, because they were so backed up with patients.
We're so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
We did put this dance together.
We did rehearsals and stuff and filmed it, but that's okay. And then we edited it.
That was such a bizarre phenomena. It was hard to believe that that's real.
Mhm.
Like people looking back on our time hundreds of years from now are going to see those videos and go, "What is going on?"
What about the like the musicians and singers and like the talk show guys that were like they had like performances where they were dressed up like like
Like
syringes and
Stephen Colbert,
yeah, they were dancing around like telling you to get your pokey poke and stuff. I mean,
Run DMC, get to shot.
it was so ridiculous.
Well, that was all in that walkthrough
80s
that they did.
hysteria.
It was in what was the name of that when they sat down and they rode and they war gamed the whole thing. It was
Oh yeah,
Event 201.
Event 201. It was their table read.
Their
It
table
was
read.
just like a Hollywood table read that they do before starting to film on a movie.
So when they
Yeah.
did that, that was incorporated in that. Remember, it was like we're gonna have artists and stars come out and advocate for getting the pokey
Hmm.
pokes, and then a lot of people are, gonna go get them. And even though you go up to the dad and the son, and you go, hey, come here, come here, look at all of the deadly side effects from taking the pokies, and this is just what we know. And he goes, wow, that's very interesting. Okay, come on, son. So what happened is those people, they, even despite the fact that you give them information that tells them be careful of these pokies, they go, excuse me, Run DMC told me to come get these shots,
Exactly.
and I'm gonna get them.
And that's a reliable source.
That's a reliable source. So what happened is during Cooties, the healthcare workers, I call them Murder Inc.
Yeah,
They were the triple M to the P's.
they totally were.
They were megalomaniacs, psychopath, micromanagers,
Yeah.
mini megalomaniacs.
Yeah.
And so they said, "Oh, hi. You know what? We gave you a PCR test, even though that contradicts the inventor. It said this should not be used to determine if you have infectious disease, and we found out that you are positive. So now I
You're a
am,
case. We're
yeah,
adding you to the list of cases.
and now I micromanage you."
And now you're going to be dead.
So that was a perfect microcosm for a larger phenomena of these people who now we kind of have a nation of walkers
Yeah.
that are all triple M to the P's.
Yeah. So they actually become little mini psychopaths, mini megalomaniac psychopaths. It's really like, I mean, if you can just like think about the explanation that we just talked about, it totally makes sense. Like if you just say, "Oh, all these people are psychopaths," people would be like, "What? That's ridiculous." But actually think about it,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what they are because they are following orders and repeating the orders of psychopaths. So they're little mini megalomaniac psychopaths.
Like if you tell Nancy, you're gonna lose not only your German Shepherd, but you're also gonna lose your Tesla if you don't go and do this, she's gonna go, I'll do whatever.
Hmm.
That's an acquiescence.
Yeah.
And that acquiescence is what allows them to go become triple M's to the P.
Right.
Now, in the light of that paradigm, now let's unpack your epiphany that you had today.
My current epiphany.
Yes.
So, I was just thinking about all the controlled opposition and how, I think our last episode, or one of our most recent episodes, we talked about controlled opposition and like kind of like how different ones kind of have different little
We unpack the inner workings.
because they don't all have the same angle. They kind of come at it with different angles and different like plans. I think you know
What's
what I
the
mean.
common predicate of the controlled opposition? The common predicate is truth, 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 lies.
Yeah,
So they'll give you a bunch of truths.
yeah,
But then the main thing they want to do is lie to you and have your takeaway be corralling you
controlled.
where they want you.
Yeah, and each of them kind of has a slightly different version or a different corralling. Because you got to appeal to different followers.
They have a different audience.
Yeah.
Oh, they have it's like a cult.
Yeah.
It's like they're cult leaders, but all of the cult leaders have to get on a Zoom call with Satan.
Yeah, and they have to appeal to their followers And so each one of them might have followers with a little bit different taste. So they have to kind of like tweak their narrative. So I was just thinking about,
That's interesting.
yeah, I was thinking about the controlled opposition, and I started thinking about how they have all of their followers listening to them,
Yes.
and what happens is they start repeating and parroting what they are hearing, their followers do. So they become, in essence, they actually become little mini controlled oppositions.
That's exactly right.
You know what I mean?
That makes me think of Operation Mockingbird.
Totally.
Because what happens in Operation Mockingbird is they use keywords.
Mhm.
And what we're starting to kind of notice is that words are an important part of the agenda.
Yeah, they're hypnotic.
They're hypnotic.
Yeah.
So what you're suggesting is the influencer has their following and
Mhm.
they're like a cult member. And so now they're telling their cult, here is the key takeaways. And then the cult members are going to go and parrot those specific takeaways.
Exactly. So you know what this made me think of? Well, it made me think of a couple of things, but I started thinking of, this friend I have who, how we did that episode called The New Blue Pill?
Yes.
And we talked about people who were totally awake and aware and everything that was happening during cooties and stuff. But then, like, a lot of them just fell back to sleep and they're sort of like taking a new blue pill because they don't want to like see all the horrible stuff that's going
It's
on in
too
the world.
scary.
It's too scary. They don't want to deal with it anymore. So now they're blue pill people again.
Yeah.
Once again, they're blue pill people. So it made me think about that, and how the controlled opposition can so easily lead these people astray, just like the mainstream media, because
Yeah.
whatever they're saying, if their followers like it, then they're going to start repeating it
Yes.
and believe it. And then that led me to think of something else, which is, have you ever been involved in
A pyramid scheme?
yeah, have you? An
You know what?
multi-level marketing?
I got approached by one back in 2008, and these people were selling organic wine.
Ooh,
And
I
it
would
was
have
like,
fallen for that one.
yeah, probably.
Approached me.
So the organic wine one worked like this. Like there was a girl that worked with me, and she came up and she was like, "Do you like wine?" And I was like, "I like all drugs." And she was like, "Well, you should do this and do this." Well, I was like, "See, I kind of probed into it." I was like, "So is this one of those things where if I go sell stuff, you get to have a portion of my proceeds because you signed me up?" And she's like, yeah." And I was like, "I don't think I want to do it." She's like, "Lame." She was
Oh
mad.
my God.
But I kind of see how it works.
Yeah,
It's kind of like a pyramid scheme.
it's totally.
Basically, what happens is the psychopath at the top turns all of the people who sell their wine into mini megalomaniac psychopath micromanagers for them.
Yeah, and they think they're going to get a piece of it by getting promoted by Satan, you know?
You know what was like that?
What?
Do you remember Amway?
Yeah, totally.
So my parents
Were
kind of
they
got sucked into that.
pyramid?
Yeah,
Oh,
my pyramid, my parents, my parents, my parents got sucked into that back in the 80s. They ended up going over and they would have like these Amway parties. It was kind of like a Tupperware party.
yeah.
This one kid on my T-ball team, their parents were like drinking the Kool Aid. So we
Oh,
went over there and
it's total Kool-Aid.
it's Kool Aid.
Yeah.
And so that's interesting because that pyramid scheme is, I wonder if that's why those were foisted on us all these years, is those pyramid schemes is epiphany.
Oh my gosh, yes, to like kind of train our minds into like going for this kind of stuff,
Oh yeah.
right?
So because that's kind of how the cult does the culture
Yeah.
club does stuff is they kind of plant seeds because they like the paradigm.
Yeah.
They're like, this works out good. If we can have one person that we turn into a psychopath, then they can go turn a bunch of people underneath them into psychopaths.
Totally.
That's a good model.
Yeah. And
They
then,
like that.
and then we don't have to do as much work like individually. We
Yes.
just have our managers. It's like a big corporation where you have like managers, and then they train the
Yes.
people underneath them.
That's right.
You know?
And then Or
Like
like,
the
or you know
owner,
who it is?
the owner doesn't do all of it.
You know what it's like? It's like in Silicon Valley back in the early 2000s when they imported a bunch of Indian dudes, and the Indian dudes come and they tell their white counterparts in Silicon Valley, if you would be so kind, would you train us before we fire you?
Yeah.
Because that's how it works. So go ahead. What would
So, okay, so I actually kind of fell for one of these pyramid things once. I know. I wouldn't say I fell for it because I knew what it was when I was,
you gave it a whirl?
yeah, I knew what it was when I was going into it, but I gave it a whirl because it seemed, like I thought the product seemed like it was good, and so it seemed legit to me. It was a face cream that was supposed to like preserve your youth and like
Was it
ever.
made out of Korean baby foreskin?
No,
No,
it
no, not
wasn't.
that one. It
No.
wasn't that one. That's the one that Sandra Bullock was
Right.
she was advocating for.
But anyway, I remember when I would go to these like meetings or whatever, they were like these big, kind of like they would get you all hyped up, and everybody was always dressed up
Oh,
nice. They would get you all hyped up, but they always said that the best advertisement for a product is word of mouth. Word of mouth, they said, because when you
mm.
tell your friends you like something, they want to try it, and all you have to do it's all word of mouth. If you all you have to do is like tell them how great it is, and then they'll tell their friends, and they'll tell their friends. So
Because people think like that. They go, oh my God, that's she likes it, so I
yeah,
better like it. And then
yeah,
people also kind of want to like they want to belong. So
totally.
they're like, well, I better try it too.
So I thought about that, and I was like, well, that is totally how the CO creates little mini COs, because they talk about whatever it is they want us to like believe,
So
and
true.
then their followers start talking about it, and they tell their friends and they tell their friends, and they're like, hey, did you listen to so and so's podcast today?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, like, isn't it crazy that all this stuff is happening with Maha or whatever it is? But look at all the
Look
wins.
at the wind.
That's what I keep hearing. Look at the wins. They don't seem to hear or see any of the stuff that's not happening or the wrong stuff. They only like want to hear or see the wins.
And they don't want to hear somebody mention the word Pyrrhic victory
No.
because Pyrrhic victories are victories that are kind of defeats.
They think that's black pill.
That's black.
They think that's doom and gloom, and you like think everything's horrible, but actually it's realistic. We can see when the CO is going truth, 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 lies. We can see the lies.
I had two epiphanies while you were talking.
Oh my gosh.
So
Do tell.
the first one was uh, it's a model. It's like a paradigm. Larry Fink Larry Fink is a megalomaniac psychopath. He turns people into a mini megalomaniac psychopath micromanager. How does he do that? Because the girl at Sephora, she has to follow the policies of Sephora.
Right.
And excuse me, you purchased that blush 31 days ago. We have a strict policy. It's 30 days. So you've missed the deadline. I'm going to give you an indulgence in my power now. But just so you know, I really wanted to tell you you were screwed.
My
So
power.
now Larry Fink has turned her into it through corporate.
Right.
Corporate this is our policy.
Corporations are all total like
They're
psychopathic Satan run.
totally.
Yeah.
But so Satan went, good, good, good. That's a good model. So now the controlled opposition, who we think might be clones, the controlled
Yeah.
opposition might
Might
be
be
clones,
clones.
which allows
Yeah.
them to have no conscience.
Right.
Now they control their followers in the same way that Larry Fink controls the mini megalomaniac psychopath micromanagers. The triple M's of the thing.
Totally.
You can see why we call it triple M to the P.
Yeah, it's a little hard to say that big word
To
every
even
time.
say it in a sentence.
It's really
But
hard.
do you see that? That's
Yeah.
kind of a concept.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so there's a paradigm. There's kind of a it's almost like this works. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I was thinking of was I used to work for this company that did financial planning for people.
Uh-huh.
So you would call like your dad, or maybe like like somebody who's in their like late 50s or 60s,
Mhm.
and you would say, "Excuse me, let us organize your finances.
Yeah.
And here we'll tell you how to save money and what to put away for retirement." And that was kind of the nature of it. And
Yeah.
it was a total scam. But I gave it the world because I needed a job. So I went in there. And before everyone would go and hit the phones, everyone would meet in the conference room and they would do this like
Pep rally.
it was like a it was a full-on pep rally. It was adults acting like high school kids in the pep rally,
Mhm.
like doing like chants and like going woo woo woo. And dude, that was my
Oh my gosh.
I quit. I
That's
quit when I
hilarious.
saw that. It was total culty.
That's so funny. You know what that reminds me of?
Oh,
This is really awful too. I one summer when I was I think I was either still in high school or just after high school, I got a job telemarketing
mm,
for the newspaper.
okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
And
they're aggressive.
it was gnarly, and there were a couple of guys in this group that were like they had been doing it for a while. They were young too, and they were so gnarly. They flat out lied to people. Like
That's what they do.
total lie. Like I would hear them talking, and I'm like, that's not true. We're not giving away that, but um I did, kind of okay. But what the funny thing that you just made me think of with that pep rally scenario, the boss would come strolling through the room once in a while, and he was like this really nice, like friendly black dude. And this was his whole little shtick. He would come rocking through the room with all of us on our phones, and he'd go, "Smile and dial.
Uh,
I want you to smile and dial."
I'm
Because
so much more motivated
he
now.
thought that if you had a smile on your face that they could hear it, which I mean, it's
That's
true.
possible.
It's true.
That's
But
possible. But
it was so funny.
your little pep talk is not. It's probably only making me not want to get on the phones.
Hmm.
But also, lying is something that's a very common predicate in sales
Yeah.
because I worked in a lot of sales organizations, and almost all of them want you to lie because the name of the game is get the customer to sign the contract.
Yeah.
Say whatever you have to. Dude, there was a Indian dude, and he worked with me in New York, and
I remember you talking about him.
he was an Indian dude, and he was like, "Have you noticed? Like, I'm not trying to say all 1.5 billion Indian dudes on Earth are total scam artists, but a lot of them are."
It's interesting.
Because I mean, I've seen like a lot of scam
I wonder
artists
if
from that
that's a
country.
cultural thing
I think
that they
so.
learn.
You know what I think it is? Remember Alex Jones was talking about that caste system over there?
Yeah.
So, like, if you're born into this bloodline, it's like, I have the money in India now.
Right.
But all the people who aren't born into that caste, they're like gonna live off $1 a day and like take a poop in the streets.
Ew.
That's how it's going to be for you for your whole life. So maybe if you are defaulted to that for your reality, you go, I don't mind scamming people,
Yeah.
especially white people in the US.
Yeah.
So they probably do that. But that was one of the scams that this guy did. He was in my sales team, and they used to do the same thing. We would all go and meet on Monday morning, and it'd be like, let's go
Pep rally.
pep rally, and let's go hit the phones hard. And then they give you these like completely ridiculous goals that you have to hit.
Yeah.
But so this guy was forging the signature of signers and then getting the commission and then just, he was
Well,
planning on getting another job and just
he would
skedaddling.
just leave after
He
that.
got caught and arrested
Wow, that's
on the sales
gnarly.
floor.
That's gnarly.
And so, it's kind of interesting. That was the epiphany. It's kind of like that. We kind of live in like our society has become a big, cheesy telemarketing sales organization.
Yeah.
That's that's exactly so. That's what Candace Owens tells her like audience.
Yeah.
She just walks around and goes, "Smile and dial,"
Yeah.
because you guys are like like everybody who's like listening to Candace Owens, they're all basically on the sales floor.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
And so
And
they're
why? Because they're reaching out to their friends and family and going, Candace Owens says this.
yeah, and then the Alex Jones people are like, Alex Jones says this.
Alex says
So
this.
they all believe a certain way in that direction, and then these ones over here believe a certain way in the other direction. But they're all kind of like being corralled um in sort of the similar avenue, you
You
know?
know what? It's kind of like too is The people who are drinking the Kool-Aid, they get real content with that being the
Yes.
worldview.
Yes.
And then if you
It's
come in,
easier. It's not as scary.
it's not scary.
Hmm.
But if you come in and burst the bubble, they go, "Excuse me, Firefly, can you leave?
Yeah.
I don't want you to burst my bubble."
They don't like their bubbles being burst.
Well, if you're drinking Kool-Aid, maybe it makes you sick when you have a red pill. What if,
I
oh my
know.
gosh, because you're drunk on Kool-Aid, so you go, here, take this red pill. And it's like, well, that gives me a stomach ache.
Yeah.
I'm already drunk on Kool-Aid,
I
you know?
think if you're drunk on Kool-Aid, it's really hard to like sober up with a red pill.
The red pill
You know
makes
what
you
I mean?
sick.
Yeah.
Or what if you have an allergic reaction?
Or I think it's just like it's almost like sobering up. It's like you're really drunk and somebody gives you some coffee,
Hmm.
or they like splash some cold water on you and it's like buzzkill.
You're grumpy now.
They're kind of like buzzed on their Kool-Aid,
They're buzzed.
you
And
know.
then what happens is when
But
you burst a bubble, they get grumpy.
but you know what, Firefly?
What?
I'm buzzed on my red pill.
Dude, am I wrong? Being red
No.
velvet cake is such a high.
I'm so buzzed on my red velvet cake, my red pill, and my white pill. Like, to me, that's way better. That's a way better buzz than any blue pill could be.
I was thinking
You
about
know?
us because I was listening to one of our episodes and you were talking about how when you are red velvet cake, you just have a mentality of we'll find a solution.
Yeah.
No matter what the problem is, we'll find a solution.
Yeah.
It's not a black pill. Black pill people, you know who's black pill? Stu. Stu Peters is black pill. He serves black pills because all he's doing is collecting names for Project Pyogyu. And I'm pretty sure that's his role.
Yeah.
So he's not trying to actually fix things. He's going to serve you a black pill and take your name. But
I used to think that he was serving white pills because he sounded like he was a warrior and we're like going to fight this war and we're going to win it, blah, blah, blah. But you're right. I don't know that he's actually like done anything to solve any of the problems. I mean, he does have his show, but what
but
could
has he
be
put
happening?
together like if he was putting together some kind of
Like a plan.
like an action,
Yeah, plan of
like
action.
I'd be like going, dude, he's the real deal Holyfield. But all he does is serve you a black pill and take down your name and address.
So they know where to round you up.
Dude, so this was a profound episode. So basically what we're saying in this episode is controlled opposition is kind of a pyramid scheme.
It's kind of a pyramid scheme.
It's kind of like selling the organic wine or Amway.
Yeah. I kind of wish I would have gotten involved in that organic wine one though, because it sounded like fun.
They had total Kool-Aid.
Good parties,
You
right?
know what it was? There was a full-on Kool-Aid like ethos around it.
Uh-huh.
So the girl that worked with me, she was telling me about it. She was like, "No, you don't understand. All of the grapes are organic." I was like, "Have you verified that?" Well, no, but that's what they said.
That's what they told me. And I'm gonna believe it. I'm gonna drink that Kool-Aid.
And that's what happens.
Yeah.
That's what happens. So
Yeah.
she had drank the Kool-Aid. So that's how somebody acts when they're drunk on Kool-Aid.
Totally.
They come up and they tell you what they got told as if it's a fact.
Oh my
These are
God.
organic grapes.
That's so funny because that product that I got involved with, it was this face cream that was like made out of some kind of like the leaves or flowers from oleander bushes, which are poisonous. You know what I mean?
Oleander.
Yeah, but it was supposed to like totally like just solve every possible skin problem anybody could ever have,
And that could totally be just Kool-Aid.
and it could have been Kool-Aid. It could have been.
Well, that's usually what it is.
Mhm.
It's usually Kool-Aid. It's usually just some talk track. And most people are walkers and they fall for talk tracks.
Mhm.
Because, with walkers, all it has to be is a talk track given to them by a celebrity and they go, "Urgh."
I know. If a celebrity tells it, it must be true, right?
Like
I
if Otani came out and advocated for that cream, it would just go gangbusters.
Oh, yeah. I think that's, yeah, that is totally true. Yeah.
So this was a very profound episode. So basically what we're saying is, well, let's unpack why is controlled opposition so important to address.
It's so
We address it a
important.
lot.
Yeah.
It goes back to the protocols of Zion that we've talked about, but I think it needs to be iterated.
Mhm.
The protocols of Zion was people from that country from 1948 back in 1905. They were orchestrating the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, which took place in 1916. And what did they say? They said, "We're gonna take over this country."
Mhm.
And they said, "Okay, we need to have a plan here." And the plan was the number one thing, the most important thing in orchestrating a Bolshevik revolution is controlling both sides of the narrative.
Exactly.
And so controlled opposition is integral. And controlled opposition is characterized by somebody who comes and says, no, 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 you're right. No, 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 you're totally right. But here is
Hmm.
what you take away.
And I agree with you.
I
I
totally
agree with you, and you're right about this. I think to just simplify that, um, you know, it would never work if there was just one opinion, one side, one viewpoint. It would never work because
yeah,
there would be enough people that would be like, okay, like everybody in the world can't possibly be thinking this way. So they have to have that other side, that opposing viewpoint,
yep.
so that, the other people can like have a place to feel like they fit in and be like, okay, yeah, I'm on this side. It's got to be two sides. It's got to
Well, you
be,
got to control your enemies.
yeah.
So I think the left, they drink this so this is my reading of tea leaves globally is that that country from 1948 has taken over the world and they worship Satan and they're Satan's minions. That's my take. Some people might disagree, but I think that's what we're looking at here. People like Larry Fink. Larry Fink's from that country from 1948, and he's like, I'm the CEO of Earth, so you work for me if you're here on Earth. And that even if you're a little black bird that goes out to the islands, you work for me.
You can
And
be a little finklet.
you can be a little finklet. And that one bird has got fired.
You have to fire that bird. He was
You
bad.
got
He
tagged.
was bad.
You got tagged, and now you're fired.
And do you want to be like that little bird?
You don't want to be like that. Because getting fired from Earth means unalive. So now you get fired from Earth Inc. And so that's exactly what we're talking about here. So Larry Fink is from that country from 1948.
No, that's coincidental.
And that's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
But see, Alex Jones would be like, "Can we stop talking about that?"
Yeah. And Stu Peters would be like, "Of course he's from that country."
Of course he is. That's right. But here, sign up. But see, so that's the thing. So they have basically they work for Satan and they've taken over and they want to do what they did in Russia globally. And they have to control the enemies. So Stu Peters plays an important role because he comes out and he goes like people like you and me. There's other people like you and me out there who are intelligent and they're not just going to drink Kool Aid and they're going to look around and come to the same conclusion that I just came to that that country from 1948 rules the world through financial coercion like a mafia.
Yeah.
That's how they do it through well they also use like Epstein Island, which is like blackmail. They're all by the way, we have video of you. But they do that and they've taken over the world, and so there's some intelligent people who are going to come to that conclusion. And what they said is that's fine. You got to go be O'Brien and you go act like you're on their same page. And then when they come and they listen to Stu, then you have them register and then we can go round them up when it's time. So
we have a very complete database.
So controlled opposition is important. We talk about it a lot. But I think what you and I, the kind of revelations that we're having right now, is the dynamics of controlled opposition. And today was an important one. So today's revelation that you had was that the controlled opposition works very similar to the way a corporation works with their employees.
Yeah, totally. It works the same way as the megalomaniac psychopaths. The controlled opposition puts out their message, and all of their followers um, repeat it and parrot it, and so they spread the word, and it goes far and wide, and
I
they
think
become mini COs.
part of that revelation too is the Operation Mockingbird, because in Operation Mockingbird they use very specific key words.
Right, totally.
And so the CO is doing that too. Like, you know what I think might be a keyword that the controlled opposition is using right now is like these Muslims, you should be afraid.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So there's like whatever keywords they're using in like those narratives. There's probably walkers like that are like in the Alex Jones cult, that they go, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And then now they are sitting around having dinner over Christmas time with all their family, and they go, and their family goes, and so now the whole family's in the cult
Yeah,
culture
totally.
club.
Yeah,
So, because that's what it is join the culture club or die.
exactly.
Any other revelations on this one? What is white pill? Let's always talk white
Well,
pill.
white pill is to realize that, the controlled opposition is out there, it's everywhere,
Mhm.
and they are doing the same thing that the megalomaniac psychopaths are doing. So, don't fall into the trap of becoming a little mini CEO.
Do not become mini CEO. That's
Right?
right. You
Right.
don't want to be working for Satan inadvertently. Because those who get used by Satan, they get repaid.
So yeah, so it's like you have to, just everything needs to be like looked at with discernment, you
Yeah.
know?
I think what you're talking about today is situational awareness. You have to
Exactly.
be situationally aware and you have to be skeptical of what these people are telling you. Like Candace Owens, in my opinion, and I think you've come around to this opinion too, Candace Owens works for Satan. She's controlled opposition, and those people who are listening to her and thinking that, because this is the thing about controlled opposition, they're kind of cut from the same jib as um, priests or pastors who are actually bad people.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of those out there too. Well, they're controlled opposition.
They're controlled opposition.
Yeah.
How does that work? They come and they go, no, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm here for you.
Yeah.
I'm on your side.
I mean, look at some of those pastors that we've sort of talked about recently who we've realized are working for Satan and putting out all kinds of weird
I used to
messages.
listen to I'll just make this last point and then we can go. I used to listen to because I'm a Christian. I've always been a Christian. So there's this guy Joel Osteen.
Oh yeah, I know who he is. Oh my God.
So like about
He's a total
15 years
scammer.
ago, totally. So about 15 years ago, I was like, wow, this guy seems cool. You know, and look, he's got all these books and he's got this church down in Texas and whoa. And his dad, see him connections, his
Mm,
dad like set him up with all that. So his dad
mhm.
probably was
His
like,
dad probably works for the CIA.
probably went
Yeah.
to Epstein Island or something.
Yeah.
So, anyways, now there's all this video surfacing of him being possessed by a demon and being caught on video with like demon eyes.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how it is.
It
Like,
always comes out.
well, yeah, they get revealed.
Hmm.
And CO, it takes a lot of different forms. And what it is it's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
It
They're
is.
going to come to you and act like they're your friends.
And they're going to lead their flock astray.
They're going to lead them astray. And they're going to turn you into a walker. So
Mm.
don't.
Yeah.
Great talking to you.
That was a good one.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.